Clean off this camera real quick. There we go, a little better. A little better. Let's talk about it. Lust versus love. Lust versus love. And this may be how you may feel towards somebody or how somebody may feel towards you. 1 second. There we go. Again, how you may feel towards somebody or how somebody may feel towards you. You gotta also understand this. People putting love spells on you. Somebody could put a love spell on you, and you trying to decipher if it's really you or if it's them. Let's crack into it. Lust versus love. Because nowadays it's so many narcissists out here that'll tell you everything you want to hear, and everybody want to play games and tell you everything that you want to hear just to have fun with you. But how can you decipher if somebody has real intentions for you or if it's just lust? And also the same for you, because you have to be careful with your energy. How can you decipher if your feelings towards somebody is really love or is it just lust? We're going to crack into it. I hope everybody's having a great day. This is my favorite part of the day, when the sun is coming down. This is my second favorite part of the day. When the sun is coming down and it has that nice little glow. Yeah, it's nice. And everything's just so chill right before it turns dark. Yeah. Well, let's crack into it. Lust versus love. The difference between lust and love, the first difference, or the biggest difference, I would say, is focus and desire. Again, focus and desire. When you are lusting after somebody, or somebody may be lusting after you, it's desire-based. Again, it's all desire-based. It has less to do with your internals and more so with your outside. Now, when you love somebody or you thinking about his love, you're still focused on what you got going on. This is one of the biggest things. You're still focused on what you have going on. And when it's lust, you're more so thinking about them. What's up, Jay? How you doing, big dog? See, when it's love, you focused on you still. Yeah, you have the ability to stay focused. When it's lust, for some reason, it's like you can't stay focused on what you have going on. Your attention is on them. Your attention is in the atmosphere of having fun. It's no longer about, staying focused on what you have going on, your job, your businesses, your schooling, your money. Nah, that goes out the window. A lot of times it's that desire of how to make them happy, what you want to do with them. That's that lust part. And sometimes we think lust is always something so sexual. Sometimes it's not always. Sometimes lust can still fall in the categories of infatuation. You're infatuated with this person. Infatuation, lust is still the same thing, but lust has more so of a sexual context or connotation towards it versus, love versus love, which is more so a feeling that you have on the inside. And a lot of times, I'm outside. And a lot of times you have to understand, lust comes with a demon. Lust comes with a demon, and it's like a Jezebel spirit. And that Jezebel spirit, what? It distracts you. It distracts you from your goals. That's why I said focus. When you have focus, it's love. When you have love, it's focus. When you actually care about somebody, you love somebody, you still focused on what you have going on. You're focused. Versus lust, you're desiring them. Now you allow for different energies to come in. Now you allow for Jezebel spirits to come in. This is where you get distracted. If you really love somebody, you go harder at what you got going on. Versus when you desire somebody, you slip up, you fall back. You're not as strong as you once were. You weren't as focused or determined as you once were. That's the biggest determination. So when you with somebody, you say, damn, I'm falling off. That's because you was desiring this person. You was lusting after this person. This person didn't add into you. Versus when you with somebody who you really love, you go harder. You say, damn, I started getting more money. I went to go give me a second job, or I started cleaning up my act, or I started dressing better, eating better, doing better. You know, certain things. Lust versus love. What's another determination between the difference between lust and love? The time. Love takes time. Jack, what's good with you? Again, love takes time. Lust, it's like that. You can have attraction, right? You can have attraction towards somebody. That's cool. You can be attracted to somebody that you love. You can be attracted to somebody that you lust. But the time frame of how long you are in this energy, I should say, is what is that big determination. So if you're attracted to somebody, then all of a sudden you feel deeply, deeply, deeply about them, just in a quick moment. That's lust. That's lust. Are you wanting to rush things? That's lust. If you're willing to take your time and learn this person, you're not in a rush. That's love. Love doesn't rush. Love takes its time. Lust doesn't. Love is patient. Lust isn't. So like I said, you can be attracted to somebody, but when you think in your head, are you willing to take your time with this person? Are you willing to learn this person? Are you willing to grow with this person? That's love. If you're not willing to, if you want to rush with this person, or this person is rushing you, if you want to have fun with this person so fast, if you don't really care about growing with this person, that's lust. Appreciate it, Jack. Again, that's lust. You have to understand that. Love takes time. Love is patient. If this person doesn't have patience for you, it's lust. It's desire-based. It's not rooted in something deep. Why do you think you were in a relationship with somebody, something like that, and it just went by just like that? That was lust. It wasn't real desire. It wasn't real attraction. It wasn't love. Love is patient. Love takes time. Again, love takes time. What's another one? When you are focused, yourself versus others. Again, this is the third one. Yourself versus others. When you love somebody, you focus on them. Again, when you love somebody, you focus on them. When it's lust, you focus on you. When it's lust, you focus on what can you get out of the deal? How are you feeling? Everything's about you. When it's love, it's about them. How are they doing? What can you do to add to them? That's a big difference. That's a very big difference. When it's love, you care about somebody else almost more than you care about yourself. Or you're willing to do more for somebody to see them happy than you are willing to do for yourself. That's love. Sacrifice, that's love. Lust, you're not sacrificing. You're not sacrificing. Unless you call it a spell or something like that. You're not sacrificing if it's lust. You're not. Lust, you're only thinking about yourself. What are you getting out of the deal? Or that other person as well, you know? Like I said, there's two ways to it. So lust, that other person may be thinking, what can they get out of the deal? They're not asking you, how are you doing today? Or, you know, how are you feeling? What are you going through? They're not caring about all that. They're only caring what can they get out of the deal. Again, when it comes to lust, they are only thinking about what can they get out of the deal. When they think about love, when it's really love, you're trying to see and ensure that other person as well. You want to see that person do as well or better than you sometimes. When it's lust, you could care less. So you have to think about it. When you were attracted to somebody, did they care about you? Did they ask you how you doing today? What are you going through? When they saw that you were upset, did they take the time out to talk to you? That's a big difference. If they never did that, then it was lust. If everything was focused on them, it was lust. That's why you can't get caught up so much when you start seeing these things, because you have to understand these people are coming from a different mind frame, from a different standpoint. Especially when it's, like I said, lust, they're not caring about you. You have to understand that. You had a girlfriend like what? That only cared about herself? That never asked you anything of that sort? You had a girlfriend like what? What, Jack? Break that down for me, please. Oh yeah, yeah. They're self-centered, and what? And you also have to think about this too, Jack. That if she was head over heels for you, now it breaks down into two ways. If she was head over heels for you and she really uh, was showing some kind of desire towards you, now that was lust. Now we have to be careful because this can also play out in a narcissistic. Okay, so now this could play out in a narcissistic dynamic as well. Lust treads on the line of narcissism. Again, lust treads on the line of narcissism. So you have to see if she was showed some desire towards you, or if it was all about herself and she was just self-centered. If she was all about herself and she was self-centered, she was a straight up narcissist. Now, if she showed desire towards you but was only focused on herself, it was lust and narcissism. That's why I say you have to be very careful when it's lust, because a lot of times lust is still or is goes hand in hand with narcissism. You have to be very careful about that. But it's a lot of that going on, where, excuse me, girls only think about themselves. It's a lot of that going on. And that's why you have to really understand before you invest your time, invest your care, invest your energy in certain people in certain situations. You have to really be careful before you invest all these things and ensure that it's love. Ensure that this person really cares for you and that it's not just lust. You have to be very careful. That's why it's cool to ask yourself these questions and take mental notes about things. Did this person ask me if I was okay today? I was upset about something, but I never said it. Did this person, and I visually saw it was visual on my face. Did this person take the time out to ask me about these things? Or did they just see, or did they only care about what they had going on? That's how you have to really check these things. You have to ask yourself certain questions. You have to be real with yourself. Again, you have to be real with yourself. Sometimes we can't get caught up in, oh, this person likes me, or oh, this person said these cool things, not these cool things, but these things that made me feel some type of way. You can't get caught up in all these things and you lose sight of actual love versus lust. You can't lose sight of that. But that's one to keep on to. Somebody who asks you about your day, somebody who really cares, somebody who invests their time into you, that's real love. You got to hold on to those people. Again, like I said, people who invest into you, people who care about you, that's real love. If they only care about themselves and they're only asking about themselves, leave them alone. Leave them alone. So if you got somebody right now who's asking you how your day going, who cares about you, who's pouring into you, who's giving you energy, that's love. They're reciprocating the energy that you put in, that's love. If people are not reciprocating that energy towards you, it's lust. Oh yeah, she loves you. She really cares about you. So that's somebody who you need to also reciprocate that energy back to, and don't take her for granted. Again, never take her for granted, because it's hard to find somebody who really cares about you. Again, it's hard to find people who care about you. So that's somebody who you need to also reciprocate that same energy into. You need to ask her how's she doing. If she having a good day, a bad day, if there's anything that you can help her with. This is an equal exchange. She pours into you, you pour into her. That's how relationships grow. That's how relationships grow. That's a beautiful thing. You got to keep that up. You got to keep, that's somebody that you definitely want on your side, that you definitely want on your team. Because there's not a lot of people out here who care about others. Here's another one, the emotional depth. When it's just lust, everything is surface level. Again, when it's just lust, everything is surface level. You can't get into deep topics about certain things, or you can't talk about your past, your history, certain traumas that you've been through. You can't get in depth with certain conversations about how you feeling or things that you may go through. You can't go that in depth when it is somebody who you are lusting for or lusting for you. Now, if it's somebody who really loves you, you have deep conversations. It could be about anything, or it could be about something personal, but things get deeper when it's about love. When it's just purely lust, it's all surface level. People are scared to open up if it's love. People are scared to open up. So that's how you really tell. Is this person to open up to you, or they keeping it surface level? It's the only thing you know about them is where they were born and their name. Is surface level, is lust. If you know about their mom, their dad, where they grew up, their favorite color, or certain things that they've been through as a kid, why they are the way they are, certain trauma, certain things like that, that's love. Because that person was able to open up to you and tell you about certain things about themselves that they don't tell everybody else. Jack said, I always ask her about her day. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. You got to keep that up. You got to keep that up. Don't become over invested and over emotional as well, because sometimes we can fall into that trap. But that's good. You got to reciprocate that energy. You have to reciprocate that energy. Like I said, the emotional depth. Do things get deep? Do conversations get deep? Does the love get deep? Or is everything surface level? Do you have real deep feelings and emotions for these people, for this person? Does this person have deep and emotional feelings for you? Or is everything just surface level? Do you have a careless attitude if something happened to them? Again, do you have a careless attitude? Something happens to you, you be like, oh well, I can find another one. Do you think these people are easily replaceable? If you feel like this person is easily replaceable, it's lust. If you feel like you can't find another one of this person, it's love. Yeah, you got to keep that. Like I said, you got to ask yourself this. Jackson. You have to say, is this person easily replaceable? Or can I replace this person? If you can't replace this person, if this person is not easily replaceable, you got to keep that person by your side. If you can easily replace them, then that might not be the one. That might not be the one. And lastly, commitment and sacrifice. No, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that, Jack, because now that shows that you're over emotional. That shows now that you don't have control of your emotions. That shows now that you're deeply invested and you can't control yourself. It shows that you have you may be jealous. This is some things that girls get some girls may like it, some girls may not. So you have to be very careful and check yourself. You have to ask yourself, why are you going above and beyond or doing these actions towards somebody just because they want to give her a hug? You have to be very careful of that. You have to understand also that you do not own her. She is her own person. You have to handle things like an adult. You can't handle things like a child. You have to handle things like an adult. Everybody's paying attention, and you don't want to end up in the penitentiary, in jail, or anything of that sort because you let your emotions get the best of you. Again, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. That's the way. A lot of men have lost their kingdoms. A lot of men have lost money, jobs, everything because they could not handle their emotions, especially when they dealt with a woman involved, so any kind of way. If it was whatever he did, if it was so bad or anything of that sort, you have to go through the proper channels and report these things. That way it keeps you safe, it keeps her safe. You can have a prosperous future. You don't want to take things in your hand, going out your way to like I said, take things in your hand, and now you end up ruining your future, your career, and she ends up dating somebody else. How would you feel about that? You defended her name, defended her honor, and now you sitting in the penitentiary for 10, 15, 20 years, and she's out here making love with somebody else. You wouldn't like that, would you? Control your anger, control your temper. And if anything happens and you are not in the proper position to handle it, if it's not immediate or you need to do that, then you got to let somebody else handle that. If you're in school or wherever the case may be, and if you're in school or whatever the case may be, and something didn't happen right then and there where you have to physically defend her, like somebody's touching on her, whatever the case, and you have to physically defend her, no, let her or y'all, both of y'all, go talk to the teacher, talk to a counselor, whatever the case may be, and let them handle it. And if she doesn't want to do that, then guess what? She might like that attention. She might want that. She might like to play the dynamics of the energy, the dynamics of you fighting for her and all that, and she might not really care for you. Remember that. So don't always be quick to jump up and defend and play knight in shining armor, because you never know people's intentions. You never know. Not saying people are evil, but you never know. You always want to protect yourself. Like I said, you sitting up here and defend her honor, she may like that, but now you sitting in the penitentiary for 10, 20, 30, 40 years because you could not control your emotions, and now she's out here making love with somebody else. You would not like that. No problem, Jackson. Lastly, commitment and sacrifice. Again, commitment and sacrifice. You're not willing to sacrifice time. You're not willing to sacrifice energy. You're not willing to sacrifice anything or be committed to somebody that you just lusting for. You're not. People that you're willing to commit to, sacrifice for, sacrifice time, energy, money. These are people that you really love. This is a person that you really love. And you have to think the same thing for them. Are they willing to sacrifice their time, their energy, their money on you? If they're not willing to, if they never sacrificed any money, if they never took any time out, if they never took any energy out, and put it on you, it was lust, not love. And that's a quick way to know. It was lust, love, and manipulation. Again, but all that is the same thing. Manipulation, narcissism, lust, it's all the same thing. It's all the category. It's all the same category because they want something from you and not willing to give back to you. Again, they want something from you, but not willing to give back to you. They want your energy, however it may be, sexual, your time, your financial energy, whatever the case may be. They want something from you, but when it's time for them to pour it into you, they're not willing to. It's all the same thing. Manipulation, narcissism, lust, it's all the same thing. And I said if they're not willing to commit, if they're not willing to sacrifice, it's lust. It's not love. So if you feel that way about somebody, or if that's the way somebody is having their actions towards you, now you know. We have any questions or else? That's about it. Lust versus love. Be careful. Like I said, this could be towards people. This could be how you may feel towards somebody, or you just want to know if this is how somebody may feel towards you. Because when you desire somebody or you're attracted to somebody, sometimes you don't think straight. And that's just human nature. Even the best of us fall for it. It's human nature. So you have to ensure that you're asking yourself these questions and going through proper steps and proper channels to ensure that you don't, lose yourself. You don't lose your time. You don't lose your energy. You don't lose your soul. That's a big thing. Don't lose your soul. Because a lot of times, a lot of people have lost their soul to people who they lusted over or lusted over them and did not love them. That's the worst thing you can do, is lose your soul to somebody who does not love you, who never loved you. We got any questions? Let me give it about another minute. Well, if it's that, if a teacher doesn't do anything about that, you have two things. I would either, personally me, at that point now, you have two options. If it's something like illegal or something like that, like physically touching her in a sexual manner or something like that, I would just go to the police. I would get her or both of y'all go to the police. You talk about if it's something serious like that. Or you can handle it yourself at this point. But when you handle it yourself, you have to have restraint. You have to have control of yourself. You have to say to this person, hey, I need you to stop this, blah, 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 whatever your case may be doing, whatever they may be doing. You have to talk to them and communicate properly without any aggression, without anything. You have to talk to this person. And then at that point, whatever happens, happens. But if you've already talked to a teacher doesn't do anything, you can either talk to another teacher. And if it's something illegal, you can talk to the police officer or, somebody, in that realm. Or you can confront that person at that point, But don't push, shove, argue, anything that can incriminate yourself or put yourself in the line of you going to jail or you losing your freedom in society. That's one thing that you don't want to do, But you can confront that person in a respectful manner and say, hey, respectfully, you're doing this. My girlfriend doesn't like that, and I don't appreciate it. It's disrespectful. Could you please stop? Now if this person does X, Y, Z, they disrespect you after that, or they continue to disrespect her, and you've already told the proper channels and all this and all that, sometimes that might be something that you have to take, and handle yourself. That might have to be something that you you might have to handle. I'm just being honest. That now that's when you handle it. But if you haven't taken the proper steps, the proper channels first and foremost, now you're out of line. And that's just being honest. That's just being honest. First, go tell the teacher. If the teacher doesn't do anything, try telling another teacher. If they don't do anything, try to. If it's really illegal or something like that, something physical or sexual in nature, like sexual assault or something like that, then you go talk to the police or something like that. File a restraining order or something like that. If those things don't work, then you personally confront that person and say, hey, or before even you go to the proper, let's say, okay, you talk to a teacher doesn't do anything. Talk to another teacher, they don't do anything. Now, this is the third time. This is the third step. Now you personally confront that person and say, hey, my girlfriend doesn't like this. I don't like this. I believe it's disrespectful. You come into them in a respectful manner. Now, if they don't do it, now the fourth step would be going to the proper channels or proper authorities to get a restraining order or something of that sort. Like I said, you always want to put yourself in a proper position to where you have paperwork, paper trail, where you have defended yourself, you defended that person, and you didn't just jump off the cuff and attack this person or angrily go at this person, anything of that sort. So that would be the 5 steps I would do. Number 1, I would talk to one teacher. Number 2, I would talk to a second teacher. Number 3, I would talk to this person formally and say, hey, this is going on, this disrespect is going on, please stop, The 4th step, if they don't do it, hey, get a restraining order filed or something like that, especially if it's sexual in nature, get a restraining order filed. And the 5th time, if they do it, hey, if they do it right in front of your face where it's complete disrespect, now you get to fighting. Now you handle it on your own. I'm just being completely honest with you. But that shouldn't be the first step. Again, that should not be the first step. But by the time a restraining order or something like that has been set in place, they should be done. Anything after that, they're crazy. Again, anything after that, they're crazy. So that's what I would do. Go talk to the teacher, talk to another teacher, talk to that person formally with respect, give respect to get it. Talk to that person with respect. Hey, this is going on. We don't like it. She don't like it. We believe it's disrespectful. Could you please stop? If they say buzz off or whatever the case may be, all right, blah, okay, cool. Now you go file a restraining order if they continue to do it. If they break the restraining order, now you have all legal rights if you want to, and it's done in front of your face to beat their ass. Beat their ass. Because now you're physically defending her, especially if it's done in your face, you're defending her. Now you have the proper paper trail that you talked to 2 teachers, you talked to this person formally, and if a restraining order was filed. So now the 5th step, you're in the clear. You're in the clear. So if anything goes to court, if anything, unlawful happens, anything that sort, you're defended. So we went through the proper channels and this person didn't learn, and then they took it upon themselves to do this in front of our face to complete disrespect, and what am I supposed to do? We've already done the proper channels. At that point, it means the counselors and the school counselors, the school teachers and the police and all these people didn't do their proper job. They didn't pull this person to the side and talk to this person and say, hey, we have a formal complaint, or we have a complaint about your actions, your behaviors, and you didn't handle those people in place did not handle that. It's just like if something happens on the job, you want to go report to HR, not because they're going to do anything, but because you want to have the proper paperwork, the proper paper trail. That way, if you ever snap or anything goes wrong or goes left, you have a paper trail that's defending yourself, that you already spoke out and you already reached out, that there was an issue. You never want to look like the crazy person. Again, you never want to look like the crazy person. Never. Any more questions? I said, Jack, if you need my email or anything of that sort, if you have any questions, anything of that sort, you can just check my email. Ooh, I got you. Appreciate you, Jackson. And good luck on your football career and all that, things of that sort. I believe you probably in high school, it sounds like it. So, stay focused, invest in yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your girl, and love yourself. Ensure that you love yourself. And don't overinvest. Like I said, if you need any help, mentoring, anything of that sort, my email is in the description. Go ahead, check it out. Email me, I got you. Just say this Jackson and stuff from YouTube, and I got you. Anyways, I'm about to get off. About 30 seconds if there's no more questions. I got another live on my other channel. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching and interacting. This was fun. There we go. Defense. What you play, linebacker? What you are, linebacker? Defensive line? Okay. All right, Jackson. You a big boy. What, you 6 something? You a big boy, huh? Okay. 5'5". That's not that big. Well, that is kind of big for a 7th grader. Yeah. Just stay focused, Jackson. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. You in middle school? Stay focused. That's all you got to do. Just stay focused. You know, stay focused. That's it. Stay focused on school. Stay focused on football. You know, and love your girl, and reciprocate that same energy that she's giving to you. You know, you got a long way to go. Remember, you got a long way to go. Have fun. Make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're doing things that you're having fun. You know, make sure you're having fun. That's not bad. 2 sacks. Oh man, you doing good, bro. You doing good. Would you want to go to the NFL or something? Is football just a hobby, or this is like your passion? Yeah. Well, if that's your case, if that's the case, you gotta just stay focused. That's it. Stay focused. Stay focused. Make sure you're in that weight room. Make sure you eating properly, diet properly. Make sure you getting your sleep, your supplements. Make sure you getting proper massages and all that, so your joints and ligaments is good. You know, and don't beat yourself up early now. Okay, Vanderbilt. Okay. Yes, sir. Take care of yourself, you know. Don't beat yourself up so much now, because you got a long way ahead of you. You know, you got high school, you got college, and then you got the pros. So you don't want to put your body through so much now to where by the time you get to college or the pros, you're almost done, you know. Make sure you take your time. Take your time, take your time, take your time. Make sure you invest in recovery. Recovery is a big thing. You're young, so invest in recovery. I know when we're young, we feel like we can do, we're unstoppable and our bodies will never break down, but that's a lie. Your body will eventually start breaking down. So invest in recovery. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. Invest in recovery. Invest in recovery. Get in that weight room, train, get strong, make your joints strong, make your bones strong. Stay away from steroids, because steroids ain't gonna do nothing but make your muscles big, but not your joints and ligaments. So, you know, stay away from the steroids. Just eat good, sleep good, recover good, train good. You know, take care of your body. Your body will take care of you. Take care of your girl. She'll take care of you. Take care of them grades. Them grades will take care of you, because you never know. You might get an injury or something like that. You're going to need to rely on that brain up there. You know, so everybody don't make it to the NFL. And that's just the you know, the realities of things, you know. But, hey, you making straight A's. Continue on that, and everything will work out in your favor. And trust in the universe, trust in divine, trust in God, you know, and you're going to end up right where you need to be. Sometimes not where you want to be, but where you need to be. Remember that. Always remember that. Always remember that. And I said, it sounds like you got your head on your shoulders. Don't let your aggression get the best of you and all that, you know. Keep that head on your shoulders straight. Stay focused. Don't let people take you off your track. Because you have to understand, like you said, that guy wanted to give your girl a hug. You never know what he got going through. He might be jealous of you. He might be envious of you. You never know. So he might want to do that to take you off your path, to take you off your track, to screw you up, to knock you off your pivot, you know? You never know. He might want to get under your skin. He might see that you got straight A's and you got the cute girl and, you know, you doing good in football and you going somewhere, you got your head on your shoulders. He might be jealous of that. He might be envious of that. So now he might be doing all these antics to get you riled up so you screw yourself over. Don't do that. Stay focused. Stay focused. Protect your future. You going somewhere. Protect your future. I said my email's in the description, Jackson. Go ahead, hit it up. I'm going to remember you. I'm going to be looking out for you. I greatly do appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all be safe out there, all right? Love and blessings.